You ever wonder how a niche audience and the right bonus strategy can put you in the top three of a $5.7 million affiliate launch? Well, today I'm bringing back a return guest to show you exactly how she did it. She used prep courses and long term funnels and collaborated with some other affiliates to absolutely rock this promo and earn nearly $100,000 in affiliate commissions. So listen up to find out how she did it. If you're ready to take your affiliate program and your business to the next level, well, you're in the right place. I'm Matt McWilliams, best-selling author and 4-time affiliate manager of the year, and I have built dozens of affiliate programs from the ground up to over $1 million a month. I'm here to show you how you can do it too. Let's get started. Well, welcome back to the final episode in this 7-part series on our $5.7 million affiliate launch breakdown. If you've made it this far, first of all, thank you. We have, thank you. You should thank yourself because you've learned a ton, I'm sure. We have covered a ton in this series. We talked about the strategy behind the launch itself. We talked about list building tactics. We talked through what's working now for affiliates with small audiences and large audiences, Instagram focused strategies, paid workshops, joint promos. You name it, we have covered it all. Everything that was working in this massive launch, we have covered it all. And today, I'm wrapping things up with someone who absolutely crushed it. Heidi Easley is not new to affiliate promotions, but she is proof that you can take everything you learn from one launch, refine it, and come back even stronger the next time. The launch before this one, she barely cracked the top 10. That's great, but it was still not where she wanted to be. This year, she came back and finished top 3 in the entire launch and didn't miss out on winning by very much, as you'll hear in this. And in this interview, she's walking us through exactly how she did it. And what I love most about Heidi's approach, it's not about gimmicks, it's not about hacks. It's really about, like, you're going to learn some cool new stuff, but it's really about how she executed the basics. And that's an important lesson. How she knows her audience really, really well, and she serves them really, really well. She created bonuses that actually filled a gap for them. This is one of the biggest lessons you can possibly learn is how to use bonuses properly. Some people just create some bonuses. No, you create bonuses that fill a gap for your audience. She talks about using a prep course to get her audience ready for the promo and how she thought through her long-term funnel strategy, how she partnered with other affiliates in a way that didn't compete, actually complemented each other. And I think that's really a powerful lesson. So whether you're an affiliate manager, you're trying to help your affiliates make more sales, or you're an affiliate yourself looking for some really smart, this thing, like everything is actionable in this. So if you're looking for actionable ideas you can take for your next promo, either one of those, you're going to want to listen closely to this one. So let's jump right into my interview with Heidi Easley. Heidi, thanks so much for being with us today.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, super cool. And like, we had you on literally almost a year ago talking about the same promotion, but I think you finished, was it 9th place or 10th place last year?
So 10th place last year.
10th place, which was like really awesome. And I was like, that's amazing. And you were like, yeah, it was super awesome. And then this year, I mean, like, holy crap. Man,
I'm still mad about this year.
We're going to talk about it though. We're going to talk about it because to give you guys kind of the very quick background, Heidi promoted Stu McLaren's Tribe course this year and finished in 3rd place, which is amazing enough, but she was in 1st place for like the whole thing, just about up until the very end. And when I say 3rd place, it was not like a 3rd place. A lot of times 3rd place is like, the leader of 3rd through 10th place, right? It's so far from 1st and sometimes even so far from 2nd. It's not really like a real 3rd place. Like the top 3 spots in this launch were close enough that we didn't announce the winner for almost 24 hours after the launch ended because it was so close. We had to like go in and do the audits and all that to see. So it was like, it was so close. Close enough that like based on the prize money, the average sale that 1st place made over 3rd place was worth like an additional $3,000, $4,000 a sale.
Mhm.
because first place is $100,000. So it's
Oh,
like,
you're rubbing salt in the
oh,
wound.
am I? Okay. Okay.
It's
What I
okay.
meant was first place won by a lot, and Heidi never really had a chance. So don't feel bad. You did great. Now
No,
those
I
top
thought
three were just like, it was so stinking close.
so close. I know. I told my husband, I said, I don't feel like it was a failure. It was
No.
more like defeat. It was that feeling of defeat. And I even told Stu, I was like, please don't take my the way I'm feeling about this as ungrateful, because that is not what I wanted to get across. But I get so competitive and I
Yeah.
get very excited about a leaderboard. I don't know why, but I do. And so when I was, on the first place for so long, and then knowing just by a few, like I was this close, and it was, I told my husband, I was like, it was for the glory. Like I wanted the
Yeah.
glory of having that
Oh, I
second and
know.
first place. So
It's an intense feeling. Like, I mean, we've been there before where, um, we were up there, like right up at the top. I mean, the first one I ever won, man, it was like 5 years ago. Smaller launch, I think we did, I think it was probably like a, $500,000 launch versus this one, being north of $5 million. But I remember, I mean, that last day, I remember staying up and like until the cart closed. I was up until 3 in the morning, like Eastern, trying, like, is there anything I can be doing to move
yes.
sales right now? Because I think at that time it was like $10,000 was the first prize, and like, 3,000 was second. And I'm like, well, $7,000 is a lot of money to me at this time. Like, I did everything I could. And we were like tweeting people, we were responding to emails, small team at the times, it was all me. Like, I did everything I could, and then we won. And I'm like, yeah, it was so fun. So yeah, I mean, just, you did an amazing job, just for the record. I want to make
Oh,
that
thank
very
you.
clear. And we're going to talk about what you did. So let's talk a little bit, just a quick background. If anybody wants like Heidi's background, we do talk a little bit about this in literally a year ago, guys. So we'll link to that below. You guys can watch that previous interview below and learn how she finished in 10th place last year and learn a little bit more about her. But let's just dive into this promotion. So the price point was $2,000. The commission amount was, basically $800, a 40% commission. When I say 2,000, is $1,997. How many affiliate promotions had you done? I mean, I know you did Tribe at least once. How many other affiliate promotions have you done over, say, the past, 5 years?
I would guess maybe 10 total.
10, yeah. So
Maybe 10. And it's usually that, like, I have just a few people that I just frequently, promote once or twice a year.
okay.
So, I don't have I know, and I'm very, very selective of who
Sure.
I choose to affiliate with, because I want to make sure whoever I bring to my audience is something that they really need. So I'm very, very selective. So I'd say maybe at the most 10 over the past 5 years.
Wow. So, 2 a year. So enough practice, but still you're still kind of getting your sea legs a little bit with what this is, and to do what you did was awesome. So tell us real quick. I know we talked in the last time, we talked about who your audience is, but give us just a very quick overview of both like from a what you do standpoint in terms of your audience and what they come to you for, but maybe a little bit of demographic, info on them and who they are.
So I teach people how to make money teaching paint parties online, in person, and with art kits. So my demographic is really crafters, creators, artists. A lot of them are doing this as a side gig, like, they have their full-time job and then they're doing this because they're passionate about it, but it's also bringing them extra money. And then other people are just retired and they just want like this next act, and they're doing something fun for retiring. So that's who I serve. So it was really cool because, I have this group of business minded entrepreneurs that want to make, and they want to help people in the art space. And so they follow me, and then they start learning more about what I'm doing. And they're like, wait, can you teach us some of that? Like, I want to learn more. And so it really just became a natural fit whenever I promoted Tribe.
Okay. And so how do you I know you said it's a natural fit, but I think there's got to be some strategy here.
Yes.
You take people who want to learn how to do paint parties. I'm going to assume that's what 99.99999% female.
Mhm.
You have like, you know, all the men by name. There's 2 of them, right?
Yeah, we have like 6. We have 6 men now. I
Yeah,
think we
6.
have 2,400 members and about 6 of them are guys.
And so, you take this audience that comes to you about, how to do paint parties.
Mhm.
And then, Tribe, guys, as you probably know from past insider profiles, is all about creating a membership site, creating recurring revenue. It definitely falls under the bucket of what I would call internet marketing products or online marketing products, online business. How do you take that audience to being interested in this product?
So great question. So the first time I promoted Tribe was really out of just people asking. And I said, oh, that's a great commission. I'll send my link. And I remember selling 19 of them and thinking, oh crap, like that's a lot of money. Like that's really
Oh,
great.
$10,000. Yeah, just about.
Yeah. Yeah. And I bought this huge, computer that I'm looking at you right now through. Like I spent all this money on this really nice computer and just really cool. But what happened was I saw these 19 creatives that were paint party people that were just floundering. So I had already had the background of email marketing. I spent my entire first year of learning online business on how to build email lists. So I love that kind of stuff. And so I saw, these 19 people join Tribe and they didn't even understand like what a funnel meant, what email marketing, they didn't even know the base glossary terms of online marketing. And so it broke my heart because it's like I sent people, who I trust Stu with everything. I sent them to Stu, but then I felt like I let him down because I felt like there was this kind of gap. And so the next year, I was terrified, but I knew I had to do it. I was so scared that, okay, do you know how sometimes like when you're scared of doing something or you're scared of launching something because you think it's going to fail, that you like start doing random crap around the house just so you don't.
You can tell when I'm procrastinating. My office will be spotless.
Yeah.
The studio.
Okay.
Oh man. If here's what you can watch. If you ever watch, so this is how the studio's set up now.
Mm-hmm.
If this thing here is over here in 3 weeks and there's new decorations and new books and new artwork up there and this and everything, you will know that at some point in the previous few days, I had a big project due that I didn't want to do. And then instead I'm remodeling the studio.
Yes. So, okay. So
That's me.
I was like taking curtains down off of my windows and washing curtains. Like who washes curtains? Like I am not like a homemaker type personality and I'm washing
you could
curtains.
wash curtains.
I didn't know either. And so like I'm doing everything. And so I was like, you know what? And I was sick at my stomach because I knew I had to launch this course. And my course is called Paint Party Outer Limits. And basically what I did was I said, you know what? I am terrified to do this, but I know there is a gap. I know that these paint party people need to know the basis of this stuff. So when I promote Tribe again, which I will do, they will be ready for it. And so I talked to Stu about it. And I even had, Stu's a guest in my course. Like I wanted to make sure, everything was okay because I was teaching them how to start building your audience, all of these things that I knew they needed to prep for that I have spent, tens of thousands of dollars and multiple years learning. And so when I launched it, I kind of gave myself an out. I said, you know what? If just 10 people will sign up for this, I'll feel like that's a success. And so I launched it and 100 people signed up for it. Wow. And I was like, okay, note to self, like they really want this. And so then we launched Tribe again and I ended up top 10, which blew me away. And so then I was like, you know what?
Top 10 had to have been 60 sales, 50 to 60 sales at least.
75.
75. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. 75 sales, which, was amazing.
Most of those probably came out of that 100, didn't they?
Yes. So basically I created a funnel that not only helps me, but it helps my customers. So
what was the price point on that prep course?
So it was $397 if you were a member, and then it was $597 if you weren't a member, which this year we're going to raise it because we totally overhauled everything. We have it so much better. Because like whenever you launch a course or something at first, you kind of are trying to do what you think you need to do.
Sure, yeah.
And then this past year, we we nailed it. It was so awesome. And people were like, oh my gosh, I would have paid so much more for this. Like, I don't want to say that, but this is so good. And we really did do a good job, like, of what they needed. And so, so what we ended up doing now is this past December, we did the pre-launch for it. We had 279 people sign up for Paint Party Outer Limits. So it went from me hoping 10 would sign up to 100 signing up to 279 signing up. And so now, and again, Stu was a guest in that course. And we talked openly about funnels, about membership, about, this is the next step if you want this. And that's what led to the affiliate, I think, being so good in Tribe this year, is because we have been prepping all year for it. So now the cycle starts again. So right now, even in my membership, some people are like, well, I want to know about memberships, or I want to know about, email marketing. I'm like, that is for Paint Party Outer Limits and for Tribe. Those are things that come up once a year. And so it's basically like just notifying my audience, like, yeah, if you want to learn more from me, you're paying so much a month right now. That's great. And I'm very thankful for it. And we over deliver. But to learn that higher level, online marketing, that's a different strategy, a different course, a different path. So the ones that kind of know that will know, okay, I need to go this route with Heidi if I want to learn that. So it really was just a very, very strategic thing from the beginning. And I think that's why it just, when I hit, awesome. I mean, my goal was top 5, but then once I saw myself in first place, I was like, okay, now my goal is first place. Like,
yeah, that shifted really. I never knew it was just top 5, because from about the word go, you were like, where am I? Am I still in first? Am I still in, like, there was no, like, I just assumed you wanted to be first the whole time. I want to go back real quick, and then I want to come to where things are now with this, the Outer Limits course. You mentioned something kind of interesting. You said, that first year when you sold 19, you said, people were asking you. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, well, let me get a link. And I sold 19. What were they asking you?
So they wanted, basically, like, what I've learned, and I'm sure you've learned this too, is anytime you start doing something and then you start doing it well, people want to know. So what happened with my paint party business? I was doing that to make extra money on the side as a full-time teacher. And then all of a sudden I'm doing paint parties of 100, paint parties of 130. And all of a sudden, I'm getting people asking me like, okay, Heidi, how are you doing this? Mm-hmm. And so it just, brought me to the next step of, okay, well, maybe I can teach some people how to do this. And again, that brings you to the next step. And so when I had Paint Party Headquarters, which I still do, it's 3 years old now, and we have over 2,400 members. It was one of those things where, oh, sorry. The creative club's calling. we're on group chat. So it was one of those things where people started asking, okay, how are you doing this? How are you making Paint Party Headquarters happen? How are you making a membership happen? Because, I was teaching people how to do stuff, paint parties in person and online. And so then that started to become a question. And those questions are way more involved than what they were paying me for Paint Party Headquarters. Sure. Like, of course, I'm spending lots of money every single month learning from, people who are way smarter than me. And then also studying myself. And so I was like, okay, how can I structure this? Because what I also noticed, Matt, was people were skipping over me to go to different people to learn from just because I wasn't offering it. Mm. And that kind of made, because I remember going, wait a minute, I can teach them way better because I'm doing exactly what they want to do. And I thought, and that's why I was washing my curtains, because I was so scared. That's so scared of like offering it. Even though I have found in this many years of doing business now, the things that I am most scared of are usually the things that bring me the most money, which is kind of crazy.
That was, I'm writing that one down. That was good. So I'm kind of like, that is super awesome. I mean, that's a great lesson, because it's like, people are asking you, then there's clearly a market for it. And what started out as 19 people, fast forward 2 years, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were what, 160-ish this year?
I think we ended at 149.
149. Okay.
And my goal was 150.
No way. Did you really? Okay.
I'm really good with like having numbers and being like so close to them, but so close.
the that's probably because I remember one year I had a goal in an affiliate promo, Michael Hyatt's promo. This is forever ago. My goal was $20,000 and I made $19,991. And I was just like,
I know.
sucks. And the worst part about it was I had a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, who I was texting with, on the last day. He's like, hey, do you need me to go buy through you? And I'm like, no, I mean, like, I'm not going to ask you to buy a course just to make me, like, I think I joked. I was like, if you want to send me $100, send me $100, And I'm like, and I told him after, I was like, I should have said yes to you, but it would have cheapened it. It would have felt bad. But
I know, that's how I was. I was like, you know what? That was the number, but it does have that feeling of like, and then it becomes, and I know like people listen to this where it is about the money, like for many, many times. I mean, I've gone bankrupt. Like I know what it feels like to have no money. And so I have that feeling of like, like that. Well, it's still that many people, it's still that much money, but then there's something inside that like drives you competitively where it's not even about the money anymore. It's about like, that was my goal. That's what I've set up for. That's what I've been working for a year. And yes, the money is great. And yes, I am so excited and have so many plans for that money coming in to help my family. But it's like something about hitting those goals and those numbers that just make it like exciting.
yeah, I mean, it's just in that competitive nature.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but like, I mean, I grew up, I was a college athlete and, played professional golf for a while. So it's like, my thing is like, I mean, I remember there were times where I would win a tournament, but I screwed something up in the last 3 holes, and I'm like, that's what I was always focused on. Like, man, I should have finished 2 shots lower. It's like, well, you won by 6. Yeah, but I should have won by 8.
Yeah. Well, I was not an athlete by any means. And so I was definitely like the B team volleyball players sitting on the bench laughing, being stupid. But something with business, it's like, even if, those of you listening,
It's
if you
different.
weren't like it's different. Like there's something with business that where you can have this competitiveness. And I like to turn it into a game. So I like to make it fun. And we, even me and my family get in, my daughter's 14 and my husband, we'll get in on it and we'll be like, so-and-so, like, we'll say names of the people that are on the leaderboard and we'll like, oh my gosh, we got to take them down. And it's all in good fun, but like the whole family's involved and, we'll be eating dinner like, well, where's so-and-so at? And we're like, I know, we got to take them out. Like something's got to happen. Like,
why do I have a feeling like you have a dartboard with the faces?
No, I don't, but that is a good idea.
Well, and in the spirit of this, like, I do want to share with everybody, before people think that Heidi's like, plotting to like take these people down. And if anybody
Not that way.
if anybody ahead of Heidi gets food poisoning, it wasn't her fault. Okay.
No.
Like when Sarah Williams won, we'll share. There's a video. Hopefully, I think we can get a hold of from Stu's team. When
I have
Sarah
it
won,
too.
Yeah, when Sarah won, I'm trying to think when Summer on Stu's team had messaged me about 2 days before cart closed and said, hey, if Heidi or Sarah wins, like I live like an hour from both of them. What do you think of, taking like a large, one of those like Publishers Clearinghouse checks and like doing a whole thing? I was like, that would be awesome. That you would do that. Yes, please. Like I'm signing you up for that. I had no idea you were going. So guys, when Sarah won like this super tight competition, less than 10% separating the entire top 3, and they wanted to beat each other so badly. And, again, I'm not rubbing this in, but like, we're talking an $85,000 difference between first and third. Like I don't know if people realize that is more than the average American family brings in an entire year.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a lot of money, super competitive. Then I see Summer. I'm expecting to see Summer, and there's Heidi, like going to congratulate Sarah and taking the big check. And I just thought that was super cool.
Well, Sarah
I
is
really
one of
did.
my dear friends, and every day, so on Sunday, she's like, I don't know, should I promote? And I'm like, yes, you should promote. Like I talked her into being an affiliate. I was like, yes, you have
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was like, you have the perfect audience. I mean, I'm an affiliate. I actually pushed some of my people to her. So I'm like, actually, technically, you probably have some of my sales. Like I was giving her a hard time. But I mean, mean, we were on the phone every day. That was actually who called earlier and, just heard it. It was from that group.
Oh yeah.
And so we're on the, every day we're on the phone every day, like strategizing. Where are you at? Where are you at? Okay, what can we do now? I mean, there was nothing she held back or I held back to have a more competitive edge. Like we were both
Sure.
like, wanting each other to win. And I think that's when it made it so fun, because like for her, in some sorts it stresses her, where I'm like, no, it's fun. Like, let's have fun with this. Like, let's just go for it. And so, yeah, so we had especially with me being in first place, the first several days, she was like saying, hey, I'm going to show up at your house with a big check. And so once you and Stu made the announcement, I remember you announced third place and you said my name and I typed the word damn it. And I was like, and immediately Shanna saw it and she knew, like, I didn't mean it in a mean way. She knew that I was just, I was so close. I wanted second. And so I went on a walk with my husband right after. And I was like, I'm not, it's not failure, it's defeat. And we were talking about the feeling of it. And I was like, hey, I said, we've got to show up at Sarah's house. Like we have to bring a big check. We have to, because she had been talking about doing it for me. And I was like, we got to show up. Like, let's drive 2 hours. Let's go surprise her. And then the next day, Summer had contacted me and said, hey, do you want to do this thing with me? I was like, yes, we're already planning it. Like, yes, let's do it. And so yeah, it's all in good fun. So it's all in good fun. And just, I don't know, I love it. There's something about it, even though I wasn't competitive in sports, there's something about business when I know it's a right fit for my customer. It's different if this is something that like I'm trying to sell my customer that I know they don't need. But when it's something that I know they need and they want, like I am like, game on, let's do it.
That is so cool. So I have so many questions for you now. It's just guys, I'll let you know, insiders. We'll be talking to Sarah to give you kind of the background on that. She had 9 sales last year, and this year had more than 160 and won the $100,000 first prize. Like that's what's possible when you go all in, like Sarah and Heidi both did. I want to talk about the prep course for just a moment, because I think this is a really cool concept, something that we've been teaching for forever. Like you kind of find that part of your audience that, first of all, they're willing to invest, a little bit more. But secondly, like they end up being the people who are one step ahead of everyone else. So they're more prepared for the thing that you're offering as an affiliate. And so I want to like talk about, first of all, when is that prep course? Because to give people perspective, you start pushing people into the tribe launch in late March. We'll just say April 1st, just even though I know you started in late March, but that's kind of the prime time. It's from April 1st through the first week of May. So what does that look like in terms of the prep course? When does that happen?
So right now, I mean, if it comes up naturally or during a training, I say that's for Paint Party Outer Limits. So I'm already seeding the fact that I offer a course once a year. December 1st is when I officially open it to Paint Party headquarters for pre-buys. So the course does not start until February 1st. But what I like to do is give people an option to do a payment plan. So what I've decided is I do a webinar like the beginning of December for Paint Party headquarters, which is all the people that are in my membership. And I give them a huge discount. So this year it will go up. So it'll be instead of $397, it'll be $497, but they have 3 months to pay it. So we do a 3-month payment plan. So before they ever start the course, like they're on their 3rd payment and now we're starting the course. So it's paid, they're done and paid for. And then January 1st, so they all get that discount if they're in Paint Party headquarters. And then January 1st is when I launch it to the public. So I do like a big launch to the public. I was really surprised this year. We had a lot of just new people that were paying the $597 to do the course. So that will go up to $697 this year. But the coolest part was pretty much by the time everybody starts February 1st, they've already done 2, possibly their 3 payments. And then what I do is I just hold it all. Like I don't spend a dime until the course, because it's a 10-week course. So all of February, all of March, and then it basically just butts up to when Tribe starts.
That was the next question. Yeah, I mean, that 10 weeks starting February 1st would be about April 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere in there would be the end of it. I mean, 10 days later, Tribe Workshop started.
Well, and a lot of people have been
perfect.
asking for like a mastermind level or for me to help them more. And when I did the survey last year, and this may be something I want to do in the future, but right now I don't want to do it. I'm like, if you want more time with me, you sign up for Tribe, and then I give them another 10 weeks of study group where I go live once a week and answer their questions. So it was almost like a way where I can still bring in, you know, a really great income for my family, but I'm not having to push myself in every direction, because it can be overwhelming, because once you start seeing opportunities show up everywhere. And so once you train yourself to see those, it's like, oh, well, I could do this, but that's going to be an energy suck or time suck whenever I can just focus on, okay, Paint Party headquarters to Outer Limits to Tribe, and then just have that very clean, you know, funnel that helps my members.
That is so cool. You earlier, and you said this a couple of times, because you got a call and you mentioned the Creative Club. And I know a little bit about the Creative Club from a few years ago, I think, with Stu, but I know this is a little bit off topic, but I'm kind of curious. Tell us what that is real quick, if you don't mind.
Oh, not at all.
You know, because I think there's some lessons in there that people would get some value out of. So what is this Creative Club?
Okay, so when we first took Tribe, this will be my 4th year going through it. And there were several of us that kind of just got put in a Facebook group that were all artists. Well, it kind of dwindled, you know, some people would interact, some people wouldn't. And so there's basically 9 of us girls in there that have all gone through Tribe at the same time, have all grown our businesses pretty similar, like as far as like revenue and growth. It's almost like we push each other. So if I see, oh, so-and-so's got 2,000 members now, well, I need to get to, like, it kind of like makes us want to like do better. But in another way, like we meet at least twice a year, and we go rent a beach house, and we actually already have our August one scheduled. And we usually do 4 or 5 nights, and we do one morning as a mastermind where we actually like go through, you know, the problems we have. And because we're all at the same level, it's not like this complaining type atmosphere where a lot of times when you're just getting started, it's like, well, I don't know where to, you know, you just find that out, and really you're just needing help tweaking. But what the coolest part has been is, I think just that, like I said, they were calling just a second ago, but we're on a constant Facebook chat at all times. Like I talk to them more than I talk to my family, because we're constantly on a chat, like, what's going on? Here's this, check out this. What I, you know, and it's not all business related. It's personal, it's fun. It's, you know, check this out. Oh my gosh, this is the TikTok when we're 70 and we're going to the beach and it's 2 old ladies, you know, who's going to be those 2, you know, and we're like, you know, naming each other out. Like it's a bunch of like different stuff, but it's so cool because we're all cheering each other on, and then we're all helping each other. So like Tamara is one of them, for example. She just messaged me the other day, and she's like, oh my gosh, I had a cancellation. Can you jump in and fill in this spot for a guest artist? And I'm like, yes, no problem. What do you need? Tell me when, where, how to do it. And then it's done. It's like it didn't just happen, and we didn't like all of a sudden just have this trust for each other. It took, you know, a good year of like communicating online, and then meeting each other, and then knowing like, oh my gosh, we have so much in common that our families are sick and tired of us talking about Stu or Tribe or whatever it is, that we can come to each other. And, you know, what do I need to do with this? Where do I need to be with this funnel? Why is this not converting? And even during my launch, so I went from Stu's launch straight into my 3-year anniversary launch, which I've changed the dates for next year because it was too intense, because I had gone so like, you saw me.
Those were full work days, like
full.
Just for Tribe. Yeah.
Yes. And in the background, we were prepping for my launch too. And so it was a lot. And we didn't hit our goal, but we still welcomed like 520 new members into Paint Party headquarters on the back of another launch. But what I had to say about that is like, you know how like when you do a launch, the first 2 days, you can kind of tell where it's going. You can
Yep.
tell based on those numbers what it's going to be. And I had messaged the Creative Club girls and I said, y'all, I was like, this is killing me. I was like, I am nowhere near my goal. What am I going to do? Like, and they know I'm very, very goals driven. And they're like, what do I need to do? And they're like, oh my gosh, I just went and watched your live. You need to do this. You need to talk. I mean, immediate response. And then I was able to tweak, and those last 2 days were so much better. One last thing I want to say about the Creative Girls, because this is really telling. So you and Stu were still live, and you were still talking, and you had just announced, the winners or whatever. And oh my gosh, within 2 minutes, they started a group call. And it wasn't about, Sarah, congratulations, you won. It was like, Heidi, are you okay? I mean, it's like that's how we are,
Wow.
like just like I drove to Wichita to go tell her congratulations and celebrate her. It's almost like they knew like that was killing me because I wanted it so bad. And so I'm like, no, Sarah, this is about you. You won, like, congrats. And they're all like, but we know, Heidi, like, we know what you are feeling right now. And we just want to be here and like, know that you did everything you could. And I think that is the power of like, when you're doing this entrepreneurship thing, whether you're doing affiliates, whether you're building your business, like find a group. I mean, I never thought in my 40s, I would find 8 other girls that I could call at a moment's notice and talk business with. So that in itself is worth more than any money I've made over the past few years. It's been pretty incredible.
Yeah, that is super powerful. And that's why I knew where you were going with that. And I wanted you to share that because I think, all of our members and all of our, really everyone, in this journey, I know it's cliche, but you really you can do it alone, but it's just not, it's just harder.
It's not fun
And
either.
I mean, it's crazy. Like you would probably agree. I know I find this, like I have a group, that's similar. We can solve problems that I've been beating my head against the wall. Because my default is to get very insular, insular. I don't even know how to pronounce that word, but like, it's like, oh, I got to solve that problem. All I need to do is just think really hard for an hour and I'll come up with a solution.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I do. And then sometimes I don't. And I go to the mastermind and like one thing, they'll just say one thing. Like, what if you tried this? I'm like, oh, actually, no, I'm going to just do, nope. You gave me the idea. Boom, we're good. And it's like,
Yes.
why didn't I just do that from the get-go? And that is that power of community. So guys, if you're interested, we're going to put a link below to our mastermind. One thing you said in there that's super important is you guys started at the same point. You were in very similar starting places and you've each grown. So even 4 years later, you're still pretty much, roughly at the same level. It's really important to get around people who are at that same level because you're around people who are way too advanced. They have different problems than you. If you're around people who are they have different problems than you. Like if you're in a $1 million business and people are asking like, how do I set up my email list? That's the wrong question to ask. Yeah. The same thing if you're in a $1,000 a month business starting out and people are talking about hiring their 43rd employee, it's like, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. So we'll put a link below, guys, where you can sign up for our mastermind and get into that because it's all beginners. So if you're more advanced, don't click the link, don't sign up because it's not for you. All right. So I want to talk real quick. One of the things that you did that I thought was super awesome when we ran the very early, we called it the way too early to mean anything leaderboard. I mean, on like April 1st, now the workshop, guys, doesn't start till April 22nd. So we're not even talking like the promotion starts, like for another 2 weeks, really. You were already thousands of leads. So your runway was like a month prior to the workshop. I mean, I'm curious, is that something that you think worked? Would you change that? Would you start later, sooner next time? How would that go?
So the runway was actually earlier than that because it was in Outer Limits. Like we had we had Stu as a guest for 200 and something people inside Outer Limits while that was going on way before his stuff started. So And yes, I would definitely do that again because I won how y'all do those different contests. Because I won the contest, basically, I won enough money to pay for all my ad spend for the entire tribe launch. So at the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, because I had spent like $15,900